Waiting on you, Google. Thank you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to Scepter the Howling Wind San Diego werewolf venue. This scene, several of the members of the Get Pack, I guess it's the Get Pack because they're mostly Get, wish to see the Mistress of Challenges trying to bide favor, buy friendship, that sort of fun, nitty gritty stuff. And so we will begin with our intrepid were adventurers.
Yeah, Lena will be walking, hands in her pockets, looking over a coal, smiling. So you ready?
Remind me again what we're doing here.
Building favor. We're going to need people like her on our side when this pack gets up and running. Plus, we can ask her a bit of advice. Never hurts to ask a Philodox a bit of advice on the situation at hand. But we were here for favors. Maybe even some form of agreements, alliances. We're playing the game, Cole.
Right. Well, I'm still waiting to hear back from Punches, so fuck it. I'm open.
It's always good to get advice and it shows unity. And Viana like that. She'll just smile at him.
All right, well, if that's the case, by your lead.
She'll smile at him and take a very, not overconfident, but just very, sure of herself walk to where she has heard from the kin Drinks to Justice may be located.
You'll see some of the Garu housing. There's one that seems to be fairly well taken care of, and she's sitting out on the front porch smoking a cigar with a glass of bourbon.
All right, Lena will stop at the edge of the porch, not step on, and will immediately drop to one knee and present neck.
Cole will do likewise.
She'll take a puff off of her cigar, let out the smoke in a nice little puff. What can I do for you two?
We were hoping to meet and talk with you, Raya. We are two members of the new pack that will be founding. We wish to touch base and ask for some advice.
Alrighty then. She gestures to the swing on the porch. If you all want to sit.
Yep. Lena will get up and sit down very politely.
Cole will sit right next to Lena.
So what is it you're looking for advice on?
Well, I'm sure you're aware of the kinfolk matter, I'm sure, Raya.
The one with that Lieutenant Get Boy, or the one with the lupuses, or the one with that other Black Fury folk?
The Uktena Get situation, Raya.
I know a bit about it.
Well, we have been trying to devise a way to coordinate an easier effort for the Uktena to be able to challenge. We would like your advice on how we can facilitate best. After all, Phytodoxes seem to know more about this than any of us would.
As we should, it is our job. But, let's see, you should know proper Get challenge and procedures.
We are trying to make sure that the Adrian in question challenges him and not the other way around. We've come up with a tale to spin using our Galliard, my cousin Abel, perhaps to provoke more of our emotional reaction.
Is that so? You're going to provoke an Adrian into challenging?
It's risky, but it's one of the very few shots we seem to have, Raya, particularly with all the information we've been gleaming.
And what exactly makes you think this is going to work? Adrian tend to be a bit more reserved.
Reputation, Raya. If you look over a coal, particularly as an Arun.
I get a Fenris. especially in Arun, has pride. Some of us are more weak when it comes to defending that. When it comes into question, we always leap into action, though not always with the coolest of heads.
Well, then it sounds like you have a good start on your plan, then. She takes a sip from her bourbon. Yes, pride definitely is one of the Get's softer points, but their claws tend to make up for it.
Slight smile.
So now you know a little something about me. If I may be so bold as to ask, Raya, tell me about yourself.
Myself, let's see, I was raised on a step down south. Grew up trying to keep those damn mules in line. Got pretty good at it, and sad the day I had to rule in one of their favor, but it happens sometimes. Let's see, since then I was the youngest member of the founding people to come to this sept. Ended up breaking off and forming a new pack. Mostly Adrians and Fostons now. Good folk, though.
He nods.
I tend to it as beta, letting the Galliot of the pack do the leading. Makes her happy.
Sounds like your pack has had quite the adventure.
And it seems to go on more and more lately. Our little Theurge just can't seem to enjoy the quiet for very long. She listens to it and then she's like, I hear something off in the wind. Here, let's go fix it. Can't figure out why she won't just send Cleath after it.
If you need assistance on the matter, Raya, you should look over our coal. Our pack is new, but we are experienced, and we can offer any assistance to your packmate if possible.
I'll keep that in mind. Her name's Guided by Stars. Lupus Stargazer. Sweet thing, but a little headstrong on occasion.
She'll nod. Well, I'm from the Sept of Fafnir's brood, Raya, on the Baltic.
You've come quite a long ways to be here.
Official request was sent. They needed a Ragabash. So my Sept deliberated and they sent the newly elected one.
Well, congratulations on surviving. I hear it tends to be a bit rough out in Europe.
It is, Raya, but Fenrir breeds us strong and we live to serve.
I'm glad to hear that. Makes me very happy.
She'll smile and look over her coal.
He'll nod. I come from the Sept of the Sentinel in upstate New York. I heard about the Sept of the Howling Winds, but it was new. Precious few things in this world are. And something like this needed growth, needed defense. I left my life back there, and I haven't looked back.
Well, and then left your life behind. Are you running from something? Or did you just lose things to care about back there?
I'd be lying if I said no to either.
Honest. Good. Makes my job easier when they're honest. Anything I should be aware of that might threaten the sept? Leeches, ghosts,
Cole shakes his head.
zombies. I hear that Walking Dead's pretty popular.
No. Any foe I've ever faced no longer breathes.
Wonderful.
Smile awkwardly. We, of course, wanted to touch base with you. After all, we are up and coming. We're not as established as the other packs, but we have a strong unit already developing. The smirk of Cole.
Have you chosen your alpha and beta?
Cole is our alpha, and my cousin Abel is the beta.
She'll nod. He's the skald of your group, correct? Abel,
She'll
that
nod.
is.
Yes, he is.
Not a bad form of leadership. Runes
We
do
did
tend
it
to
the
do
old,
well.
we did it the old-fashioned way. Just look over and smile at Cole. Cole displayed strength and fortitude and came out victorious.
Yeah, Cole's stoicism kind of breaks at the mention of settling things the old-fashioned way. Smirks a bit.
You see her grinning at the mention of settling things the old-fashioned way. I wish people settled it the old-fashioned way more often. Make things so much simpler.
Lena will actually genuinely smile. We adapt both with the new and the old-fashioned, but we adhere to our roots. To look over Cole and give a firm nod.
Good.
No,
Haven't you guys had that mule hanging around with you, kind of trying to hang on you on occasion?
that's complicated.
Well, they can make good cannon fodder, and that's basically what we breed them for when they do happen.
May not nod. We in Fenrir's brew believe that they must display strength in order to serve the nation valuably. We are taking charge of that for Binary. Looks over at Cole, like nodding, like please agree with that. No.
Yep, he nods.
Well, then, if she can prove herself to you, then I suppose she'll be a worthwhile member of a nation. Assuming any of the totems will take her. And cockroach or rat generally will take them.
I believe cockroach was her choice.
She did come from there. You keep your eye on her, though. I know there's something up with her. She's done something to be sent here. I feel it. I don't know what yet, but I've been told that the Den Mother's gonna deal with whatever the problem was with her.
If you would like, Cole and I could oversee to make sure it runs smoothly, Raya, along with the Den Mother. On your behalf, of course.
Oh, I wouldn't tell her you're doing it on my behalf. She doesn't like me. Not once.
I cannot imagine why, Raya. She'll smile warmly.
She's a child of God. She's a sweet, pot smoking hippie lover. Gotta love everybody, be sweet and nice to everybody, especially the mules. And she's coddled that thing.
Time to make a willpower roll.
Oh boy.
Uh,
Set it up in whichever one you want,
all right, I'm gonna do
whatever
it.
one's not being used.
I'm gonna go ahead and do it in two.
Okay.
I've seen. Start. What's the name of the scene?
Drinks anyone?
Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Roll. Center equal to 6 of 1. Sweet. He stays his tongue.
Does he look like he wants to say something?
Uh, I should probably roll him an Ips up for that. Where is my sub? Oh, gross. Oh, gross. And I apologize, watchers. Yeah, it does.
Oh, please now, if you have something to say, we're among friends here, aren't we?
Well, when you put it that way, I knew a warrior of unicorn that was, well, let's just say he didn't fit that profile.
For better or for worse.
Much, much better.
That's a pleasant surprise then. Maybe there's hope for them after all. Yeah, I was starting to lose it. I'm glad to hear there's good things coming from him.
He just nods.
Lena will smile over Cole, like, thank God we're okay. That type of relieved smile.
And she'll reach back and knock on the door. And a young man will come out. Darling, can you get me 2 more glasses? And a bourbon. And he'll nod and he goes back inside and comes out with 2 more glasses of bourbon and offers them to you guys.
Yeah, Lena will take it.
Cole very politely raises a hand in protest.
She holds out her glass and he just pours the extra into hers and takes the empty glass back inside. Not a drinker.
You can't afford to dull my senses.
Fair enough. I always say I'm going to quit, and I do, and then the next day I get up, and at some point I end up having another drink. You laughed. Good. I was starting to think my jokes were going over your head. I know I'm no ragabash, but I like to think I have a sense of humor. As dry as it may be.
No, I appreciate the sentiment. It's a different life, I suppose. Not speaking ill, just different culture, I suppose.
It is. Very different. We like to drink because it's, alcohol's like Think of alcohol like Gaia. It's the triad in one item. Like, it's the symbol of balance. You got that little bit of the worm in there that breaks down, your inhibitions. It's made by the weaver, and it lets you be free like the wild. It's what we fight for, that unity between the three that has long since been destroyed. I gladly kill the weaver and the wild, or not the wild, the worm now, but if it was possible to bring balance, I would go for that. Hate to ruin a perfectly good bourbon.
Balance is everything when it comes to a sturdy drink, Raya. So take a sip.
This is a very expensive bourbon. A very smooth bourbon.
Yeah, no, Lena appreciates it. It's like, ooh. We drink on occasion, more in celebration of tales being sung and victories. Often great feasts are held and meat and drink is poured for the most finest of stories, both in death and in glory.
Well then, the next time we have a celebration, I would love to hear some of these stories and share a good drink with you.
It would be our honor, Raya. She'll bow very, flattered.
Yep. Cole will bow his head.
If you wish, we would be most happy company of yours, especially with you and your kin. She'll smile.
I appreciate that. It gets so lonely around here sometimes. So many people here seem to be liberally loose with the litany. It feels strange to be the one that's considered traditional when back home I was kind of middle of the ground.
A relatable feeling, Raya. Looks over at
And
Cole, like kind of nodding in agreement.
she'll kind of raise her glass. To tradition, then.
Yeah, Lena raises her glass.
She'll take a drink of her bourbon.
Yep, so does Lena, like looking back at Cole with a smile on her face.
Cole's resumed his stoic expression.
Jill, we've probably wasted enough of your time, Raya. We just merely wanted to touch base and let you know that there are a pack that values the same traditions as yours, and if you should need us for anything.
I will keep that in mind. I appreciate it.
She'll look over at Cole and kind of nod and finish the rest of her drink and kind of stand up, waiting for him.
Cole will get up as well, and will offer a hand.
She puts the cigar in her mouth and reaches out her hand, clasps his forearm,
Mm-hmm.
gives him a good shake.
His grip is firm, but just. But yeah. Hope to be seeing more of you.
I look forward to it.
Lena will give a very polite practice curtsy and will follow after Cole.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to talk to each other anymore, or do you want me to just end the scene?
I think the only thing Lena would do is she'll put her arm around Cole's arm and kind of look at her, going, "See, that was not so hard."
I suppose. I just, I don't know. All this talking. I'm glad you decided to stick around. Gives her gives her a sympathetic smile that kind of screams, "I need help."
She'll kind of wearily give him a squeeze. That's why I'm here. She'll just grin. I'm kind of like the shadow beta. She'd wink, she's walking along with him.
Oh, this is gonna be good.
Yeah, I think that's the perfect place to end it.
Well then, thank you players for playing, and thank you watchers for watching. Have a good night.